in the never a dull moment department. This is no laughing matter. It is hard to see how the US or the world will benefit from the coup underway in Russia. I am no expert. Let's get that right on the table. I'm not an expert on Russia. I don't know any more about it than you probably do, but at least I've done a bunch of research this morning, and I'm going to give you what I do know, and in particular, what I think this will mean in terms of the market opening on Monday, as well as Tesla on Monday, of course. So what I can say with some certainty, the markets will be fleeting to safety, such as gold and bonds and all the normal safe havens. So unless there's some serious resolution by Sunday night, expect the Dow down by 500 or so, the NASDAQ by 100 or so, and Tesla down by 10 or so. This is Randy Kirk. This is just a special news flash. If this is helpful to you, please hit the like, subscribe, notify, all the rest of the things we normally are asking you to do to help the channel, to support us. And I thank you all. The channel is growing so fast. And I'm very excited and thankful to all of you for all you've done. As best as I can tell from the reporting, Prigozhin, I'll probably pronounce it 5 different ways before we're done with this report. He is headed towards Moscow with what seems like almost no resistance. There's been some helicopters sent his way, a plane or two. He's shot those out of the air, but it looks like there's not much that the Russian troops can do to keep him from advancing on Moscow. Reporting is saying that they're setting up National Guard troops around, trying to set up blockades and whatnot. But most of the reports that I read said that the next 24 to 48 hours will be completely determinative with regard to the entire thing. Now, the problem is that everything I've read says that Prigozhin is a horrible person. I mean, just a criminal, a criminal who turned warlord, who has managed to pull together 50,000 troops under his control, and is being used by various countries, as I'll talk about in a minute, to take one side or the other. And Russia has been using them. Most people talked about over the last few months that I've been reading has said that the Wagner group that he heads up has been very, very effective. Well, he certainly would not be a superior option to Putin if he was to take control. In January, the National Security Council, NCS, the coordinator for strategic communications, John Kirby, said this. He said, first, the Department of the Treasury will be designated Wagner as a significant transnational criminal organization under Executive Order 13581, as amended. In coordination with this designation, we will also impose additional sanctions next week against Wagner and its support network across multiple continents. So, as mentioned earlier, they are involved in many conflicts besides aiding the Russians. They're known to be involved in Libya, Syria, Mali, Mozambique, Sudan, and the Central African Republic. The reports of 50,000 troops, some say that he lost 20,000 in the conflagration in the Ukraine. And that is part of the reason why he is upset with his Russian benefactor. As best I can tell, what we have going on here right now is an internal squabble about the conduct of the war in the Ukraine, including accusations against the Kremlin leadership that they actually attacked Wagner's troops, resulting in 2,000 deaths and injuries. It appears that earlier in the year, there's these two fellows, Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu, anyway, don't know, Shoigu, and Russia's top general Valery Gerasimov, said that they were not very happy with the way Wagner's activities were going on. They specifically came down against Prigozhin, and as a result of this, started talking about how they were going to consider them to be a part of the enemy, and then all of a sudden they have this attack against Prigozhin and the Wagner troops. So this is what you see. You have maybe two armies that are both under the control of Putin, sort of, but that are not very happy with one another. So Prigozhin is actually demanding that he get a meeting with Sergei Shoigu, and maybe also Valery Gerasimov. Now, I saw one report that suggested maybe one of those meetings had already taken place. I think that is incorrect. You might want to do your own homework on that. Anyway, so it is completely up in the air at this point. I've got a little bit more reporting down here. Moscow said that Moscow is in no position to resist the oncoming very seasoned troops. It is said that Putin has left the capital. I heard some reporting that he was attempting to fly out of Russia and into a neighboring country and was refused landing privileges. That may or may not be true. Again, these are rumors, and in the fog of war, we get all these rumors. There is apparently disarray in the Kremlin, and that sides are being taken, and that there's some reporting that some individuals within the Kremlin leadership are now trying to decide what the best way would be for them to cuddle up to new leadership if new leadership takes over. Now, it's not clear at all. To me, I didn't see any reporting that suggests that Prigozhin has any interest in personally taking over as the president of Russia. There's nothing that would suggest that. Are there others within his organization that feel that way? Are there others that he is in contact with that he might be happy to see take over leadership in order to execute a better effort in the Ukraine? Actually, there's some reporting that Prigozhin, I'm saying it worse and worse all the time, Prigozhin, that he feels that the Ukrainian war is a misbegotten war to begin with, and they shouldn't even be doing it. So again, lots of rumors, lots of statements being made. I can't clarify a lot of them, and I'm not an expert. I'm going to say it again. But a lot of folks have been saying, I know this, as I've been reading about this over the last 6 months. Many people have been saying, be careful what you wish for, that the devil you know, Putin, may be better than the devil you don't know, whoever it is that might take over next. I continue to be baffled by the fact that the people of Russia continue to like Putin, continue to actually reelect him in so-called democratic elections. But guess what? We have people reelecting the people in Los Angeles, reelecting the people in Chicago, reelecting the people in New York City to continue to come in and run these poor cities. Baltimore, I could go on, run these poor cities into the ground, and yet they get reelected and reelected. These San Francisco, these towns are turning into horrible places, and people keep reelecting them. Well, I guess that should mean I shouldn't be so surprised by Putin getting reelected in Russia when the country is obviously in complete and utter, it's on the way down in every single way that you can possibly think about it. So here are the things that I think I can say. This could blow over by tomorrow, but it is unlikely. It could blow over by Monday morning, but it is unlikely. So we are probably going to see that on Monday morning, if there is no resolution, there will be an impact. I mentioned in my opening remarks that impact is probably going to be at least 500 on the Dow, at least 100 on the NASDAQ, and probably at least 10 on Tesla. Here you have a perfect reason why people don't like to go into the weekend with all their money in the market. But anyway, what can you do? There's nothing you can do. I would go further and say that I suspect that this is not going to go on for a protracted period of time, but who knows? Next, it's not going to help Putin in his effort in the Ukraine. It's too early to know if it's really going to hurt him. The Wagner group is now out of the fight, probably, I guess. And so it's, maybe that'll potentially help him long term, or if Prigozhin gets his way, then maybe he'll go back in and, be stronger than ever. But it's also now being reported that the Ukraine is attempting to break through some of the front lines and take advantage of the distraction. Quite a few people are suggesting that in the very short term, this is going to be a huge benefit to the troops on the Ukrainian side. And who knows, maybe this would be an end of the war there because of the distraction and because Putin's not in a position maybe to be able to do anything helpful. Number 4, Tesla stock will not escape the problem Monday. I guess I've said that 3 times now. So I think that's the clue. Why I did this video is not that there's much you can do about it. I guess you could do after hours trading, but I don't think that's going to help either. We're basically going to be stuck where we are right now going into Monday. It may provide a tremendous, I've never made more money in the 50 plus years that I've been playing the market. I've never made more money than when I bought at the bottom of the COVID. I bought at the bottom. I will not admit to having bought at the bottom of Tesla at $100. I wish I could admit to, I wish I was that smart. I didn't do that, but boy, I did buy at the bottom of the COVID thing. I had sold right away as it started down, and I did buy back at the bottom. That's luck. Well, okay. It's luck with a little bit of experience in there. But as people say, it's really hard to time tops. It's really hard to time bottoms. And that is one of the few times in my life that I have done both extremely successfully, which was a pretty big benefit to me in that year. Okay, that's all I've got here on this story. Like if you liked it, hit subscribe, hit notify, join Patreon. I've got another video coming out this afternoon. This is not the normal news story. I will give you later today, probably somewhere around 4 or 5 o'clock California time. I will give you the Tesla news, that has happened since Friday afternoon, because of course nobody reports Tesla news on Saturday, and that has become my thing to do. So look for me this afternoon. Hit notify if you want to be reminded of that event. And of course, tomorrow morning, I've already mentioned that I'll have Brian White on talking about the Model 3 and everything that he knows about it that maybe you'd like to know as well. All right, that's all I got. And it's been great talking to you.